I was out on a boat with Matt a few weeks back, and it turned into an impromptu Trump rally on the water.
If you're out in the boat in Florida, you ain't gonna see a Kamala boat. It's gonna get torpedoed.
One person.
I love Yuengling.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the beer of my people.
It's been supported by Nazis for a long time.
Oh yeah. Oh god, yeah.
The beer of my people.
You dick. Yuengling's from fucking Pennsylvania.
These aren't our political views. We're just assholes, okay? We're just
like a bunch of dudes living alone in the mountain with a bunch of beads. Don't give me that Shaolin Kung Fu bullshit. I know you guys have high pain tolerance.
So you think it's a signal, like if you wear those?
I mean, they're not even progressive in size. They're just big from the beginning. That's kind of rude. That's kind of rude.
That's why this dude's scary as shit.
So he double fisted him.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
With the beads. He's a little over 24 hours, like maybe. We're at like 36 hours now or something. It's like 28 million listens.
I know he had over 1 million in the first hour.
Oh yeah, it is insane. I remember I was like looking at it. It was like 8 hours in. There was like 9 million listens. I was like, all right.
Yeah, it's
like that's pretty impressive.
If people weren't annoyed at Joe yet and how much he's putting podcasts on the map for long form conversations, this is really gonna piss them off.
Oh yeah.
He's crushing any other debate, any other appearance of any politicians anywhere else.
Yeah.
Killing it.
Just in 1 hour alone, he's like, I got more views than all of you.
Yeah.
More than you'll get for the next year.
Oh yeah.
You're not catching up.
He is now the platform for journalism.
Yeah.
He is. Like it's like he got more, like this one podcast is gonna get more views than like ABC.
Who do you have on there?
Trump. 3 hours.
For 3 hours.
Really?
He had him on for a 3-hour conversation.
I did not hear this yet.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, surprise, surprise. So you hold a platform where you allow people to actually express their opinion without stomping on them or cutting them off at 30 seconds or having a moderator feed you questions.
Trump just talks.
People tune in.
He talks and he says some Trump things. I was like, dude, this is good.
There are people that love the sound of their voice. They usually start a podcast.
Yeah.
Or they become a public speaker. Yeah. Or they run for president. So, I mean, there's 3 ways you could go with this shit, you know? So
he says, oh my God. I don't know how many times Trump would be like, he'll be talking about somebody, he'd be like, oh, he's a stupid son of a bitch. I'm like, God damn it. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this fucking guy.
Oh, this guy. Let's start the podcast. Welcome to the Sofa Kingdom podcast with your host, Nelson.
I'm Ian.
Ed.
And looks like we're coming in hot talking Joe Rogan and Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Now I have to listen to the podcast. Love or hate the man, like you have to go in and think like he's polarizing, right? The other day, I seen a Trump dog toy.
Yep.
And I thought, how genius, right? If you hate Trump, you'll buy it and you'll let your dog rip it up. If you love Trump, you'll buy it and you'll give it to your dog.
Yeah.
Listen, Florida loves Trump. I was out on a boat with Matt a few weeks back, and it turned into an impromptu Trump rally on the water.
If you're out in the boat in Florida, you ain't gonna see a Kamala boat. It's gonna get torpedoed.
One person put out a Trump flag, and then it was like they all had them.
Oh man!
And it was just a flotilla, and everybody was having a good fucking time.
Oh, they have boat parades up there where like you cannot, like if you're not in the parade, you can't cross. Like it's like hundreds of boats.
Wow!
All in a line.
It's a get in formation or wait.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Get in formation or get out of line, boys.
Now, if you got a flag, they'll let you right in.
Yeah, right. Oh yeah. I'm one of you. I'm one of you.
Go ahead.
Just yell minorities for Trump. They're like, let this boy in.
That's right.
He knows where it's at.
That's right. That's right.
Give him a Bud Light.
That's right.
Because Bud Lights are acceptable again now, right?
I guess.
I know they ain't got Coronas. Give him a Bud. Give him a Cooler Light. A Michelob.
There's plenty of people that are just like, we're done. But Yuengling is definitely gained quite a bit of market share in the interim.
I love Yuengling.
Yeah, I mean,
the beer of my people.
It's been supported by Nazis for a long time.
Oh yeah. Oh god, yeah.
The beer of my people.
You dick. Yuengling's from fucking Pennsylvania.
Yuengling's an American company.
You dick.
It sounds like Volkswagen to me,
they're
bro.
They're one of the oldest distillers in the world.
So it's Volkswagen. They service Trump. I mean, oops, wrong one. Hitler.
It's literally the oldest American brewery ever.
Yeah.
This guy's over here like, oh yeah, Nazis.
Tell me Yuengling doesn't sound like a Nazi beer. Get the fuck out of here. Of course it does.
America is a melting pot, sir.
Yeah,
How
it
dare
is,
you
it
judge
is.
them by their name?
All right, what exactly is a Yuengling, sir?
the fuck I
Yuengling
know.
is a delicious lager.
No. What
It is a
is
solid
a
beer.
fucking Yuengling?
I don't
What
know.
is the actual
Probably,
terminology?
If I had to
mean?
guess, it's probably like some sort of Native American spirit.
While you guys talk, I'm gonna look it up.
You're
I
gonna
want
look-
to find
you're
out
gonna look up
what
what the fuck
Yuengling
it
means. What?
It's probably a guy. Probably like Edward Yuengling.
It's definitely someone's last name because that's what you did with a company back then. Because
True.
Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah, it was someone's name.
There wasn't a guy named Bud Light. There was
Yeah. But I have noticed there's a handful of beers I would normally order that you go and you ask and they're like, we're out. But like there's still plenty of Bud Light.
Yeah. They even have a Yuengling Light. It's like it's called a Yuengling Flight. It's like it's not as heavy as the
A
regular.
Yuengling
lager.
is a name for a young person for the junior member of a family or community, being derived from the German word "jung," which means young, as in young man who likes Nazis.
Okay.
I feel like this is not an accurate description.
A Yuengling also has multiple meanings, including a surname, a Chinese word, and a Scandinavian term.
Well, I
It's
mean,
definitely not Chinese.
So
but-
the Scandinavian
Yeah.
term is Yuengling means descent of Frey. Oh, like a descendant of Freya. Some kings from the
So it's a
Yuengling
Viking
dynasty
beer.
appear in
Yeah.
Beowulf and shit like that.
Shit like that.
Because those other words were not American, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna ring it.
Beowulf and other Nazis.
I was just looking at like trying to read these names here. I'm like, it's YNGLDY. Like, I know Beowulf. I'll go with Beowulf.
there's too many consonants in here. I'm not sure where to start.
So Scandinavian, probably a Scandinavian American
German.
came over, jumped in. So
Yeah.
guess who's right?
Whoop whoop.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, Pennsylvania, my ass.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, sure. That's where they landed.
Where the fuck
bro.
do you think everybody came from?
That's where they
You
landed.
think we all came from Puerto Rico? No. Came from Europe. Came here. Guess what's in Europe? Germany.
Germans.
300 years before the Nazis.
Hey man, whatever. Just don't start throwing your right or left hand up.
I won't. Not till the rally.
Which one, Trump?
That's in a couple weeks. In a couple weeks.
Jesus Christ.
It's good stuff.
These aren't our political views. We're just assholes, okay? We're just assholes.
We hate
It's
everybody.
fucking funny.
We hate everybody equally.
Yeah, don't be offended one way or another. It's
Unless
just,
you got different color hair. Then
yeah.
we hate
If
you
you
a
got
little
blue hair, then fuck you.
more. We hate you a little more. Go leave a review on
So
a
you were
Disney
saying
show.
you seen the fights. What was going on last night?
Oh no, the UFC was. I forgot it was in Abu Dhabi, so the main card started at 2:00 yesterday.
Ooh.
So I was like up at my friend's house in Port St. Lucie, and like I
Yeah.
was getting posts from the. And I'm like, that looks like a fucking prelim fight,
Right.
The result, and I was like, what? And I was like, oh shit, that's
Yeah.
right. It's in Dubai. I was like, never
They
mind.
do a terrible job at letting you know when they're doing, because WWE does them in Dubai as well, and they do them at an off time because they do it based on their time, because they got enough money to say no, not
doing it
America
here.
time,
You're doing it here.
our time.
We're
Yeah.
footing the
sheiks,
bill.
The sheiks.
Yes.
Money talks.
Yes,
Money
but that's
talks.
why I think they went to Netflix. So I think Raw or SmackDown is on Netflix now, so you can
Yeah.
stream it and watch it whenever you want, which makes
Sweet.
sense.
Yeah.
If that's what they're gonna try to do.
It makes sense to do that because
Yeah.
not everybody's sitting around the TV Monday night anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people are getting rid of cable, and it's enough people getting rid of it. Like I don't use it ever.
Yeah.
I never even hooked up my box when I move shit around. I'm like,
For
I
the
don't need it.
hurricane, I turn on my cable. That's about it.
I haven't had TV in fucking
I mean,
it's all streaming.
Even
Yeah, it's
then,
all streaming.
even then, if you go to YouTube, all the news during hurricanes are streaming the news live as well.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
All over
If
YouTube.
I want to see a hurricane update, I just go on YouTube and it's like it's some channel
Yeah.
like we'll have
Yeah,
an update.
and you
I
can
just
literally
click on it.
pick the local channel. So like when you're going, you're like, can I pick the West Palm channel, or you know what? It's look like it's hitting Tampa.
Tampa
They're
channel.
gonna have the most news because they're getting the most information because they're the most in danger. let me take Tampa's news and see what they have going on.
What I also learned is that the Roku boxes have a weather channel for like weather emergencies and things like that.
Nice.
So it's just like a small clip it, and you could just watch it as well. I learned that this time, the last time, but you know.
Well, so the fights were like super early yesterday, and thank God I saw just a prelim fight, because if I'd have like saw like the results of the main event at like 5 o'clock, I'd have been like, what the fuck? Like it blew my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the results because Fern sent me the picture of his teeth.
Whitaker's jaw.
I was like, the fights are already happening? Wow.
Yeah.
That is a rough... I say picture, but it was a video. I saw the picture. I'm like, oh, my God, is that his mouth? Like, oh, it is. It is.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
His teeth were broken way back into his mouth. Yeah. Hamzat Chimaev broke Robert Whitaker's jaw with a rear naked choke that was on his jaw.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot of strength.
He's going to be on a liquid diet for quite some time.
Oh, yeah. And I feel bad for Rob, but also Rob's one of the best in the world. And for Chimaev to do that to him.
He's going to have that Kanye West jaw when he's done.
Man.
Yeah,
to the wire.
So Chimaev, you got to give him a belt. You got to let him fight for a title. That dude is a monster.
So he has not fought for a title yet?
Not yet. He is undefeated. He out wrestled Kamaru Usman. He has ragdolled everyone he's fought.
Yeah.
Everyone he's fought, he's gone in there. I mean, the only person he had a competitive fight with was Gilbert Burns, and I think that was because he had ego.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't wrestle. He went in there and just traded punches with Burns.
Right.
And I was like,
he's another one of the Dagestani guys? Is that what he is?
he's Chechenian.
Chechenian.
So it's like, it's another Russian satellite, but like, I don't know.
It's out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, he's Chechenian, and now he says he fights out of the Emirates.
Right.
So he actually is living in Dubai now and training in Dubai.
Now, if we start seeing multiple people deliberately doing a bad rear naked to get it on people's jaws to force them to tap through pain and breaking bone on purpose,
could be the next thing.
do we allow that to keep happening? Because you can normally tell when you got a rear naked choke in the wrong spot. You know when you're on somebody's jaw completely versus on their neck.
Yeah, I don't see how we stop that. Because, if you're going for rear naked choke and it's high, low, high. I mean, it's a fucked up technique, but it's like, so's an inside heel hook.
Yeah.
Like, so's like, there's a lot of things.
Here's the thing, right? We do it in jiu-jitsu, right? Where sometimes you're going, it's not on purpose. You're going for like a rear naked choke or some kind of a lapel choke from the back, and they tuck their head in, and then it comes across the chin.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have the wherewithal to be like, oh man, I got to get it under the neck, or like, let me not pull so hard to crack somebody's jaw or shit like that. But it's very possible. Like, even in our world where it's just jiu-jitsu, we're not worried about the other 10 limbs coming in your fucking direction, right?
Yeah.
That you're just like, you grab something and you're like, oh shit,
I
that's
think
on your jaw.
I think it's just he's so fucking strong.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean,
And he went in for the kill.
Whitaker had no answer.
The damage he did to his jaw is fucking horrific.
Yeah, and
now it could have been he
wasn't breathing heavy.
It could have been
Chimaev was just like
training or anything like that, where
Saturday.
he was going in and his jaw was already weakened.
Yeah.
He could have been knocked out in training. He could have had a fractured jaw to begin with, and then it was just fucking crumble.
Yeah.
But
well,
God damn, it was rough.
It crumbled. That was bad.
Yeah.
That was really, really bad. And in the main event, Max Holloway got knocked out. First time ever.
Yep.
And Ilia Topuria is that guy. At first, they were saying they weren't going to put the BMF title up. It was just for the featherweight title of the world. Mm-hmm. But after he got KO'd, like knocked completely out, Max gave him the BMF title.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I don't deserve this. Like, you knocked me completely out. So here.
But Holloway, he's that guy.
He's that dude.
Yeah. So I mean,
you got to give him respect.
You do, and it's not like it's a fucking bad thing to lose to Topuria. I mean, the guy slept Volkanovski. He's undefeated. Mm-hmm. He's literally a monster.
The sport is still evolving. We're still having people that are coming in, and more so now, where like all they've trained all their life was this.
Yeah.
But now you're having not just people who like they couldn't find their way in another sport and they fell in here. Like they couldn't make it in boxing. They couldn't make it in wrestling. So they landed. Now you have people that deliberately are going towards MMA.
Yeah.
So they're also athletically gifted as well as pursuing MMA.
Topuria is he lives in Spain, but he's Georgian. So he is like Merab Davishvili, who's the 135-pound champ. So now we have two Georgian-born champions.
Right.
And Ilya is like Merab is more geared towards cardio and wrestling. We know that. Like we saw it. That's why he did the Sean O'Malley. He's wrestle fucked him.
Yeah.
And that was how he wins.
Dana White didn't like it, but honestly, if the man fucking controls you all round long, that's on you.
Topuria, on the other hand, he can wrestle because he showed it. He took Max down. He's taken a lot of guys down, but he is looking like he has the best boxing in MMA, and that's saying a lot. When you have Strickland, you have Alex Bahia. I think the best boxing in MMA right now is Topuria.
Yeah.
The way he moves, I mean, Max is known for his boxing. He's known for volume. He knocked out Gaethje. Topuria slipped and moved and was throwing counter shots, and the way he looked, I think he's got the best pure boxing in MMA right now.
Here's the thing, too, right? Max Holloway, he's an absolute warrior.
Right.
Yeah. He's a giant in the
He's Hawaiian. It comes to the territory.
Yeah.
But how many wars can you have?
Yeah.
Right? There's always the
we always see the guy's chin go.
Right?
Remember Liddell?
Yes. Yeah. At some
One
point
day he just didn't have it.
At some point, the guys have to realize, like, hey, I've had so many wars. I'm getting older, maybe a little slower, maybe not as technical. You know, some of the things that slip away with your age and your body changing.
I just think also Ilya hits extremely hard, and his punch placement is amazing. Because Alex Volkanovski, another guy with a great chin, and you got to think these guys aren't big. They're 145 pounds.
Yeah.
And Ilya is sleeping people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's two of the, like, Max and Alex fought 3 times.
Yes.
Competitive fights where Alex Volkanovski won all 3 times. Now the 2 top guys in the division have both been put to sleep inside of 2 rounds by the same fucking guy. Like, I mean, that's
so who
give him the title shot.
If you look at the way this dude lives, like, he's got a beautiful wife. He just had a kid. He lives in this, like, I don't know how fucking they showed in the embedded. I don't know how much this house cost.
Yeah.
What the fuck are they paying this dude? This house looks like it would be Elon Musk's house in Spain.
Fuck.
Like, so he lives in this house. He has a facility built onto his house with, like, oxygen chambers. The way this dude is training, he is training like a level 1 A1 athlete. He's not going to grimy gyms. Right.
You're seeing that now with some of even the strongman competitors where they build like $1 million, $2 million gym at home. Where they have,
It's working.
that. They have the hot tub, they have the cold tub, they have,
He's got it all. It's
the hyperbaric chamber for recovery. They have massage tables. They're like, I don't go anywhere because I have to spend so much time training. I have just as much time spent on recovery, and my people come here for me to train and prepare.
That's why he moved from the countryside of Spain to the city of Madrid, because he's like, no, now we're going to just...
You need to be close enough to the people if you want to get better training. At a certain point, you need to bring people in. And if you can't bring them out to the country, you got to move to the city.
Whatever the hell he is doing, he's doing it right. I mean, he's reminded me of a tiny Spanish George St. Pierre. He's completely complete. He's completely complete. He's got the most revolutionary modern styles of training, and it's working. I mean, he made it look like easy work. He went in there and knocked out Max Holloway and then walked to the center of the ring and acted like he was drinking tea. I was like, dude, bro, like, who the fuck? Like, this like, I don't know who we had this guy fight.
Right.
I guess they're going to say they're giving him a rematch with Alex because they said Alex defended the belt so many times and he was like one of the number 1 pound for pound guys in the world. He deserves a rematch. I agree with that, but I don't see what Alex is going to do different. I don't. Ilya has no holes in his weakness. Like, there's nothing. There's not like, oh, well, we might put a good wrestler in there. No.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, interesting. Some fighters lose and they come back and they're a whole different fighter.
Right.
And some they come back and you're like, did they do anything different? Because they're not going to go anywhere else in their career because they're the same person.
That's Holloway.
They didn't make any adjustments to what happened.
Yeah.
Well, also too, because some of those fighters, like the older fighters that have been here for a long time, like your Max Holloway, he's been successful for so long doing it his way.
Yeah.
So it's
He's
hard.
a Hall of Famer.
It's hard in the 9th hour to be like, okay, reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
And change your entire style.
You know who fucking sucks at that? The dude at 205, Jiri Prohaska, the dude with the weird dumb haircut. That lives in like Czechoslovakia in the forest and shit. Like, he gets knocked out by Alex Bahia, and then he's like, I'm gonna go back to the drawing board. And then he's sitting under a waterfall and kicking trees. I'm like, go to a fucking boxing gym, stupid. Pick your fucking hands up.
No,
don't fight here.
Yes,
You're fighting a guy with a left hook that can go through a concrete wall. Pick your fucking right hand up.
This isn't a Rocky montage.
So you know what he does?
You're not gonna run in the sand with Apollo Creed and
You know what?
change your life.
He goes back in the forest and he sits under fucking waterfalls and screams at the sky and then comes back in the rematch and gets head kicked.
Of
I'm
course.
like, what the fuck did you do?
But of course he did.
Yeah, exactly. No, go to a boxing gym.
Yeah.
Don't read. What? No, stop watching anime and kicking sandbags and fucking go to a gym. Jesus Christ, dude! Like
Sometimes it's too much for people to do.
it's like I get submitted in like the Miami Open or something. It's like, oh, I'm gonna get a lot better. Next thing you know, you see me in like fucking a Buddhist temple praying with rosary beads. It's like, oh yeah, that'll help your guard. Oh yeah.
What do those rosary beads actually do for you? Or like those big Buddhist beads? Like, have you seen those?
Bunch of dudes living alone in the mountain with a bunch of beads.
There's some things.
Don't give me that Shaolin
So
Kung Fu
you-
bullshit. I know you guys have high
So you
pain
think it's a
tolerance.
signal? Like if you wear those?
I mean, they're not even progressive in size. They're just big from the
Yeah.
beginning.
And
That's
yeah.
that's
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
rude.
And
That's kind of
why- and
rude.
That's why the master, like Akuma, had like the giant like grapefruit size.
yeah.
He's progressed the whole
He's
way.
letting him know. He's letting him know. It's a flag. It's a sign to let everyone else know.
Yeah.
My beads, these are bigger than your beads.
Hey, the Shaolin monks have legendary pain tolerance.
They do.
They do.
How do you think that they acquire said pain tolerance?
Larger and larger beads.
Larger and larger beads.
We don't have no beads in jiu-jitsu.
So if you see anybody walking around with beads around their neck,
Don't
that
fight them.
large, don't fight them. Don't fight them.
you cannot hurt them.
Avoid.
They can hurt you.
Look the other way. Do not make eye contact.
Yes.
You will be pulled into a bathroom stall.
That's right. And those beads will go to town.
On you.
Exactly. So yeah, when it comes to that, I fucking don't think anyone's beaten Topuria. To be honest, I know it's early. I know he's only had, this is his first title defense. This is like second title fight. If he beats Alex Volkanovski in the rematch, if there's not like a really prominent number one contender, I want to see him maybe fuck around with Islam for a little.
Nice.
Because Makhachev's up there at 155. Who's he fighting?
With or without
Yeah.
the beads, you want to see him fuck around?
With
With the beads, yes.
Yeah. Because Topuria, I mean, he definitely has the power to knock Islam out.
Sure.
And I mean, I'm not going to say he's got the wrestling that Islam does. Islam's Dagestani. But I wouldn't, if you said that super fight is in the works, I'm not mad at it.
It just seemed that lately, the grappling game has really dominated in one way or another in MMA.
Yeah.
Not just jiu-jitsu, but like the wrestling, the
almost
jiu-jitsu.
almost specializing into striking, Pereira, or
Yeah.
the grappling game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really almost splitting the two camps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's really hard to, like, match someone who's geared so far one direction. Like, they're geared so far in this, like, you can cross train and everything. But this guy, if you keep him, if this guy keeps you, if Pereira keeps you standing, he's gonna put you to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's been
trying
kickboxing since he can walk.
to play catch up to somebody else's specialty is a fucking nightmare. Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what worries me about Hamzat, like seeing him break Whitaker's jaw, and like before him, we got Islam, you got Khabib, you got all these dudes coming out of Dagestan, Chechnya, wherever.
Yeah.
Are these guys really the best, or are there other people out there we don't know about yet that have not made it on the scene?
I'm sure.
Is there a 16-year-old kid
I'm sure.
in Dagestan right now that's that motherfucker that we don't know about? And everyone in Dagestan knows about him already.
Yeah.
They're like, this dude wins every tournament. He's the best wrestler we've ever produced.
Yeah.
He's coming up the pipe.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's training boxing and he's learning jiu-jitsu and fucking
But
dude
it's-
swimming in the freezing cold rivers. Like,
It's interesting.
Christ. Like,
Praying under waterfalls.
right. Like, you know.
It was almost at first being
fuck everybody up.
being specialized is who was winning. Then it became people that were cross training and everything, and it's almost diverging back to where it originally was, where almost being specialized in one direction over the other gives you the advantage again.
It's almost like the sport just keeps swinging on this pendulum.
Yeah.
It just keeps swinging on this pendulum.
Yeah, it's like, can someone be as good as Pereira and Nurmagomedov?
Nurmagomedov, yeah.
Yeah, that's an easy name to say.
I know it is.
and as good as them in both areas to bring it back to being good in both, or is it going to stay like I'm more in camp A versus B?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're going to see Pereira fight the big Dagestani dude who can do, like, there's a really big Dagestani guy that looks like a wizard in a tower. His name's Magomed Ankalaev. He just won his fight.
Fucking names, man.
I know.
Gandalf the White.
No, he looks like a fucking, if I told you, imagine big scary wizard in a tower, the face you're seeing is Magomed Ankalaev.
I believe it. I
And
believe it.
it's weird though, because there's so many Dagestanis in the UFC now. And not all of them are wrestlers. Like when you think Dagestani, you think wrestling. That's what you think. You think Khabib. You think Islam. There's a guy that fights with the one eye and the red hair. He's got like a red fro and like a real long beard, and he's got one fucking his one eye's dead. His nickname's Pirate.
If you would have said
it's Pirate or Bullet.
If you would have said he's Amish, I'd be like, yeah, that looks like an Amish guy that trains fighting.
His name's like Sharipov. This fucking dude won last night with a double back fist. He fought this dude who didn't suck. He fought this guy Petrosian who was a good striker, and he threw a back fist. It hit the guy's arm. He didn't you throw a back fist and then you turn and face your opponent.
Yeah.
He turned, hit him with the back fist, hit his arm, and just went back the other way and threw a back fist, hit him in the fucking mouth and KO'd him. I was like, what? And he walked off. He walked away. The guy's like crumpled in a ball. I was like, he just double back fisted him. That's a video game thing. That doesn't fucking work. Like this dude's scary as shit.
So he double fisted him.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
With the beads. He cannot fight in the United States because no athletic commission will approve him because
of his eye.
His eye's blind. But it doesn't matter. With one eye, he is smoking people.
Why doesn't
overseas.
he have the Michael Bisping clause?
Oh, because Bisping lied and got away with it.
Bisping got a fake eye and lied.
He had memorized the chunk of the chart.
That's fucking
so it didn't matter. They said, say with this eye. He can't see shit. There's a fake eye.
Listen, they're in there fighting, right? They're in there throwing blows. What the fuck? One eye? Fuck it. If he's already in the sport, if he's already winning, he's doing his thing. I get it. He is willing to say, I will go in there with one eye, and he's killing it.
Listen,
fucking let him go. Let him rock.
I agree with you in the sense because it's like, this dude obviously doesn't have a deficit because he's killing people.
Yeah.
He's over there murdering people. He's a Dagestani striker that's razor sharp, and he's just putting people out.
Sure.
But Athletic Commission won't approve him, but they'll fucking let 60-year-old Mike Tyson fight 27-year-old Jake Paul.
That's true.
Right. So where's the fucking line?
It's this.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not a 6-year-old.
Somebody's being greased.
Yeah. It's not a 6-year-old fighting a 60-year-old. We're like, okay, even terms. It's 6-year-old versus a young kid.
They approved Evander Holyfield with like bilateral shoulder replacements. Sure. Remember that? Remember when he fought Vitor Belfort on steroids and Vitor murdered him? Yeah, I do too.
That was hilarious. That
Athletic Commission should be killed.
Yeah, that's fucked up because that man was an absolute monster when
in
he
his
stepped
day.
in the ring.
Now he can't turn his head. He should not be fighting. I don't get get.
So they're still going through with this Jake Paul.
Have you seen the recent images of Vitor where people were putting like Vitor on TRT and after, where it's like that's two different human beings.
Vitor is the biggest example, and he will remain the biggest example. Him and Overeem.
I was going to say Ubereem
are the biggest example of enhancements in combat sports.
Yeah.
Like Alistair Overeem on horse meat. Was one of the most terrifying heavyweights ever. He shrugged off Brock Lesnar's takedown attempt like he was a child, and then kneed him in the body and KO'd him.
Crushed him.
He was a monster.
Yes.
It's still to this day one of the heaviest UFC fights ever fought because it's like it was so dumb. And TRT Tour, what we call him,
a TRT Tour
with the fucking mohawk throwing spinning heel hook kicks like they're jabs.
Yes.
I mean, he KO'd Luke Rockhold with a spinning kick. He KO'd Michael Bisping with a kick. He was a monster.
There was only one other human being that I thought, like, pre-game face, like, when you seen them, you were like, okay, I'm afraid of this motherfucker. And it was Wanderlei Silva. There was something about...
The Axe Murderer?
The Axe Murderer. Aptly named The Axe Murderer. When you seen him, you're like... That's a motherfucker you don't want to bump into in an alley.
He looked like kind of like the Alex Bahia thing. Like he looked like he wandered out of the jungles of Brazil, and they were just like, "Oh, here's a cage." Like Blanca from Street Fighter. Here's a cage. This is what you're supposed to do. He was brutal.
He was.
He got in trouble in Japan for two things. One,
too much TRT.
Well, no, he would
in Japan.
In Pride, they wrote on the thing, "We will not drug taste you." You were safe.
It was in the contract that they were not going to drug test.
You could do coke, painkillers, fucking steroids.
Take all of the drugs.
We want you to be a superhero.
Yes.
Go out there, have fun.
Fair.
And there's no weight classes.
Fair enough.
So Vanderlei used to get in trouble in Japan because he would he liked to throw soccer kicks, which were legal, and he liked to stomp on the head of a grounded opponent, which was both legal. But he would use the ropes to do it. You'd be down, and he would grab the rope so he could have more balance.
Leverage, please.
And the ref would be slapping his hand while he's fucking stomping on this guy's head, and the ref can't get his hand off the rope. And like they started to ask a question, like, well, like it's one thing to grab the rope when a guy is shooting a takedown.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's trying to take you down because that prevents the fight from naturally progressing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it illegal to grab the rope while you're stomping a fucking dude's head in that's flailing? I don't know.
No,
I mean, technically you could argue you are enhancing the power
Right,
of the stomp.
right.
I mean, maybe.
Yes.
I don't fucking know. Like,
I think it's great.
I find
visually it's
I
stunning.
used to laugh my ass off.
Visually, it's
and for
amazing.
those of you that don't know what we're talking about, go look up Vanderlei Silva versus Yuki Kondo in Pride. It's amazing. He legitimately stomps the man into oblivion. Like, it's horrible.
Did he retire after that fight, Yuki Kondo?
I don't know. He should have. If a man legitimately stomped me out in front of my family and friends, that's it. I mean, it was sole of foot to like. I mean, he stomped him out.
That's
to death.
rough. Like I understand the soccer kick because when you're getting hit, there's nothing behind you. The momentum can move you away.
Right.
But to literally stomp, where like, oh, there's nothing stopping you. Your head is bouncing on the ground.
Floor.
Like
Yes.
I would find it hard to do that, short of just like this person tried to kill me and I'm defending myself for my life.
Yeah. When you're
like that is, and then you're like, let me grab the rope because I'm not stepping on your head against the floor hard enough. I need more.
I guess you're right. If you're throwing like punches and kicks while a person's standing up, it's like it's combat. But like when a guy's on all fours and groggy, or when he's laying on the ground flailing, and you're soccer kicking him in the head or stomping on his head,
combat.
that's attempted murder. I mean, you are the guy is down, and you are finishing.
I mean,
him.
like if you're
Yes, you
kicking
are.
towards the side, but as soon as you're stomping down and there's nowhere for their head to go.
Yeah.
That really is like
that's something a horse does.
You have to
it knows it wants to kill you.
You really got to be like, I don't care if this person dies. It's one thing to like stomp on the stomach, stomp on the ribs. Like this is gonna break a rib. I know it. But they're not gonna. The likelihood of them instantly dying from like a brain hemorrhage,
is much higher.
Like, Jesus Christ, you really got to not care about the person you're fighting to stomp on their head.
I mean, you could make a highlight out of his literal soccer kicks and face stomps. I
But
mean, it's bad. He's a repeat offender.
Why don't you want...
He loves it.
I mean, but wouldn't you want that notch on your belt? Like, if you were the axe murderer, Wanderlei Silva, and you actually murdered someone in the ring, it's like, that's a notch on your belt, bro.
Well,
like,
he's another version of, to bring this conversation full circle, of how someone's chin goes.
Yeah.
He used to be in wars. He would trade shots with all the guys. And then one day, he got hit, and he just started falling. Next thing you know, Dan Henderson, Quentin Rampage Jackson, all these guys were getting revenge on him.
Yeah.
Everybody just started hitting him, and his lights would go out.
Well, but
those
were also the heavy hitters of the day. The Dan Hendos and the fucking Rampage Jackson.
Dan Hendo has one of the best overhand rights ever.
Yeah,
the ace bomb.
It's not like he was losing to some low level fighter.
Yeah.
All of those guys in their own right are superstars.
Chris Lieben knocked him out. Yeah, he got knocked out once he got to the UFC, and that's why everyone criticizes Pride. It's like, well, once you're in the UFC, it's like there's no easy fights anymore.
Yeah.
Like sometimes Japan, they were assholes.
Yeah.
They'd be like, what's your background? Oh, I'm a professional wrestler. Okay, well, you're going to fight Vanderlei Silva this Saturday night.
Yeah.
And he's a monster from Brazil that believes in elbows and knees as a religion.
Yes.
So have fun with that.
Pray to your God.
Yeah. And if your God isn't elbows and knees,
pray to another one.
Pray to a different one.
What was the Key and Peele sketch?
Oh, yeah.
God sent me here to teach him a lesson.
God sent
And the guy's like, what did he say? What did he say?
God sent me here to educate him in pain. The cries of his family members.
He's like, we're gonna. The other guy's like, we're gonna go out there. We're gonna have a good fight. We're gonna exchange some blows. And the other guy's like, God sent me here to teach him a lesson.
What the fuck did he say?
What is it?
What did he say?
I'm out. Did you ever see that fight? And I don't know if it's real or not, where the one guy is in the ring and he's just like walking around, he's ready to fight. I don't even think he knew who his fighter was. And then they start announcing all this guy's accolades, and this monster of a man starts walking down the ring. He gets in the ring, the other guy takes one look at him, he's like, nope, not today. Jumps out of the ring and gets the fuck out of there.
I wouldn't
It looked
be
like
surprised.
it was real.
I've seen some fights coming out of Russia where it's like they picked this one lady up off like a soccer field with her kids.
I know what you're talking about. She was like,
and she's going against like a murderer in the ring. Like,
she was
what
playing
is
with
she?
her nails. Before the fight, she's like in regular clothes, and like she's built like your average soccer mom.
Yeah,
and she's just sitting there playing with her nails, like with MMA gloves on. I'm like,
What's going on here?
Yeah, the fight ended quick.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
it
like
did. Yes,
she
it
had
did.
no business being in. Like honestly, it's like I don't think she was even in the stands. They literally picked her off some playground somewhere. Like, oh, come, no, your kids can come for free too. Like, no business.
Basically, a fighter fought a fan in that fight.
Yeah,
It
you
was
want to
dumb.
make $50?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
That goes on at local shows. I mean, I
can see that.
The amateur scene in Pennsylvania used to have really bad shit. Like there'd be a guy like putting gloves on with a black eye. And I was like, oh, what's the black eye from? Sparring? The dude be like, nah, man, I fought a pro fight last weekend, got knocked out. I'm like,
What are you doing here?
he's there to get $500. That's what he's there
Yeah,
for.
man.
That's
He's
a
like,
hard way to make.
Like,
That's a hard way to make a living.
no concussion protocol apparently.
Yes.
No, oh, dude, fuck them. Amateur in Pennsylvania, they didn't give a
What
fuck.
was that movie that was like that? There was it was like The Fighter or something like that, where the guy was like a math teacher, and he was fighting, and the school board wanted to kick
It
him
was
out for
Kevin
fighting.
James, and it was
That sounds like Rich Franklin's life.
yeah, but it was Kevin James, and Boss Rutan was in it.
Okay, no, but there was another one like that. I know what you're talking about.
Warrior.
Warrior, yes, Warrior.
With Tom Hardy.
Yeah,
That's a
that
great
was a
movie.
good
That's
movie.
a great fucking movie.
Fucking right. But I know, Here Comes the Boom with Boss Rutan.
That was good.
That was fucking good too.
That was a good movie.
And I have to say, Kevin James.
Kurt Angle was the bad guy.
He was.
He played the Russian.
He
MMA
was.
fight, yeah.
Which is odd because he's the all-American fighter.
Kurt Angle was the Russian in The Warrior.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
And Here Comes the Boom. Who the fuck was the bad guy? Was Krzysztof Szczecinski. He was a UFC fighter.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
But Kevin James legitimately does martial arts and jujitsu
He's
and all
agile
that.
for a big dude.
George Santiago
Trained him.
did private lessons with
Yes,
Kevin James.
yeah. He
Taught
came
jiu-jitsu.
he came to the gym a couple of times.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. Like, no, he trains. He just doesn't. You can't outwork a bad diet.
Yeah.
And he admits it.
He's a big guy, though.
Last time he was on Rogan, he admitted he's like, I just can't stop eating.
Yeah. He's like Burt Kreischer.
Yeah.
Hey, well, Burt Kreischer will never stop drinking.
Yes. Yeah, that too.
His liver is it's on borrowed time.
It's
on
crazy
fucking
how some people though, like if I have a little bit of alcohol, I'm shit for like 3 days, right?
Yeah.
And there are some people that could just drink and drink and drink, and they're like never bad. They're always like.
Well, it's because their body is
They're
conditioned to that poison.
perpetually,
Yeah.
they're perpetually in a state of I feel like shit. So this is just normal.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
baseline.
So it's basically like when you listen to the Sofa Kingdom podcast.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us at the
Yeah.
Sofa Kingdom podcast,
Yeah. That was a good one.
where we intended to talk about Vox Machina and did
Oh
nothing.
yeah, that was a thing.
It's okay, yeah. Watch Vox Machina. Watch the Trump podcast with Joe Rogan.
Yes.
Fucking watch some old Vanderlei Silva fight thing.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
Yes.
We
Yes.
jump around, but today was good.
It
We-
was. It
We sounded
was.
like sport commentators.
We did,
What
like-
the fuck?
Yo,
we
we
knew
did-
our shit.
Barstool
I mean, some
Sports,
of
reach out to
us
us.
know stuff about fighting.
Yes.
Yeah, but, you know, so, you know,
And other of us, color commentator.
and some of us just call everyone Nazis.
Oh, did you see there was someone who lived through the Holocaust and he's like, how dare you, Kamala, talk about Trump
being
as
Adolf,
if
yeah.
he's Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
lived through it.
Right.
Yeah.
Fucking knock it off.
Well, we all need to
now,
stop these
not
Hitler
in so many
analogies.
words like that, but very
Yeah.
much like
Yeah.
Pretty much like, hey.
that's not
like,
Hitler.
Yeah.
Let's
Stop
be
the
honest.
Nazis.
Let's be honest.
Hitler was pretty bad. None of these guys are close. None of them. So, yeah.
Not even a little.
Not even a smidge.
Yeah.
No Volkswagen for you.
No Yuengling for you.
But no, I hope.
That's the episode. No Yuengling for you.
I really hope that like Kamala goes on Joe Rogan's podcast because that would actually
She has to.
That would be a good move for her because
has to.
I mean, at this point, Trump has done Andrew Schultz's podcast.
Theo Von
He's done Theo Von.
and his fucking vice president did Theo Von.
He's done Joe Rogan. She's got to step up. You got to get your views out there.
Yeah. Well,